What's up, guys? I'm about to try to jack up the car so I can install my front lip and side skirts. But before I do that, I gotta make sure that the tires are high enough for me to sneak the jack underneath. And I got these ramps that are made for leveling a trailer, and I think they're perfect. So I'm gonna move the car a little closer to the center of the garage so that I can get to both sides. Just in case I have to call it quits today and finish it tomorrow, I don't have to worry about moving the car around. All right, tools that you're gonna need for this install. A 10mm driver. You don't have to have this, obviously. You can just use a regular ratchet like I have there. It'll just take a little bit longer. I use this, made it a little easier to hand tighten things. These needle noses held the nuts on top of the screws when I was drilling them in. And even though I have two separate clip removers, I still managed to bust one, but those come handy. These snips, they're not scissors, they're snips. I used them to cut the plastic so that it would fit. And this stubby I used for the screws underneath. So the reinforcement screws that I added underneath, I would hold the nut with the needle noses, and I would use the stubby to torque it underneath. And the drill is for whatever size screw you decide to get. You don't have to get the same size that I got. But what I got was these M5s. M5-80s. They're about 1.25 inches long, and they all worked out just fine. And then I got lock washers and nuts. And these I ended up getting a box because honestly, getting them individually was gonna end up costing more than the box itself. So now I have a bunch of spares. And I was gonna get titanium bolts, but dude, this right here was 50 bucks. It's ridiculous. Shit's so expensive. But so is the lip, and I'm not trying to lose it on the freeway, so. All right, y'all, this is the ramp kit that I got from Harbor Freight. It's pretty cheap, it was like 40 bucks. And they're a lot lower, so let's see if they work. All right, so I had to put my motocross carpet on here so that the ramps wouldn't slide when I was driving up on it. But as you can see, I can fit my jack underneath now. And so I just jack it up from the center of that cross member. And then I can put my jack stands on both sides of the left side so I can get underneath to check out the bumper. All right, car is supported on jack stands right now. I'm leaving the jack in there for now, but only because it's not really bothering me. So I'm gonna check right now to see if I can do this without having to take off the bumper. That's gonna be the $1,000,000 question. Oh, something I wanted to show you guys is, check this out. I love these vents right here. They're fully functional. Goes all the way through. You can see the suspension back there, the shock. All right, these are the last screws on the front end. You know, it's crazy. Is a few months ago, I couldn't even be underneath the car. It was too painful. I just had a accident riding motocross, and I was in the ICU for 31 days. When I got my catback exhaust, my stepdad had to help me do the whole thing. I felt so bad because I couldn't even lift the box for the catback. All right, I need to take this off completely, I think. So, fuck, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. So I need to get to the inside of here. So there's a screw on every one of these, but I need to add an extra hole down here for extra support between all of these. And so to do that, I need to take this plastic off.
got the cover for underneath off. I think this is the first time it's ever been taken off. Everything looks super clean down here, which is a good thing. All right. Oh man. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bolt on the lip and hand tie in the screws on the pre-drilled holes that it has. And what I noticed already that it doesn't line up. It looks like the lip kit has to spread a little bit. It looks like it bowed in from shipping, just a hair. So hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. But once it's bolted on, what I want to do is I want to see if I can pre-drill both the lip and the bumper together from here and sneak a screw down there and bolt it for extra security. I need to get at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up front here between these. That way the front end doesn't come off if you scrape or high speeds, anything like that. So let's see if we can do that without scratching the car. God damn. All right, it looks like none of these line up, so that's gonna be fun. Fucking eBay shit. I'm starting to understand why people pay the extra money. By extra money, I mean literally like $1,500 for a fucking lip. Just ridiculous. I refuse. I'm just gonna struggle. I spent enough money on other shit. The wheels is gonna be another fucking thing. All right. See if we can not fuck this all up. Almost lining up. Come on. All right, let's get this guy in. I really should be wearing some safety glasses or something, because let's see if this fucking thing even lines up. Of course not. Why would you line up? They make these too fucking easy. Oh, Jesus. All right. We're gonna do this one first. Or maybe not. Maybe this one. Yo, you guys aren't gonna believe this, but it's actually lining up decent now. Let me see this. Ah, no fucking way. Losing sockets over here. Huh. I'm so glad it's winter, y'all, because the sun feels nice right now. But Arizona fucking summertime sun, not so much. All right. This is where shit gets a little iffy. What's going on with this? Yeah, see, this one right here, the lip doesn't fold as good as it should, but the rest seems to be lining up pretty good. Oh my God, come on. There we go. Okay. Let's see if this guy lines up. Oh, pretty please. Oh wow. Okay. I might have to drill this hole a little bit different. Not liking it. Alright. Yeah, there's definitely some small fitment issues. But nothing an extra screw can fix. There is going to be a little bit of gap, but the front looks pretty good. Need to close this gap right here. What a fucking pain. Alright, it looks like on both ends I'm gonna have to oval out this hole a little bit so that it fits, because it doesn't line up properly. And worst case scenario, if that doesn't work, what I'll do is I'll just drill a completely separate hole. Alright, I got everything bolted in place with the holes that it came with from the mold that go down here. And one of the things I had to do is, you can see where I had to oval out that hole for it to fit. And even then it's making contact right here. There's a huge gap right here, but I'm gonna close it real easy, drilling through the bottom and through the bumper, and then I'm gonna drop some nuts and bolts that I picked up at Ace Hardware. That same gap is over here. So that'll all get closed up once it's all buttoned up. I really don't think there's a reason to take apart the whole bumper and risk breaking extra tabs and, you know, just having bad fitment. Overall, I like that everything's lines up perfect. Side skirts are gonna be a different story because I gotta pop this whole thing off to be able to screw everything from the bottom, but see if we get to those today. But first thing is to get this bumper done. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna self-tap the areas that I want to drill through, and then that'll hold it nice and tight. That'll give me the gap that I want, and then I'll take one off one at a time and replace them with the nut and bolt from Ace Hardware. That's the plan. All right, guys. So these are the screws that I'm putting in. These are self-tappers right here. And what I'll do later is I'll take one out, drill out the hole slightly bigger, and drop one of these guys in there with the lock washer. And this will be the permanent bolt that will go on there so that it's nice and secure. And right now, I gotta do the other half of this. Just drilled this one out, and it looks like it's hitting right here, the little plastic. So, but once I drill out the hole, I can move the bit around and grind off that plastic a little bit so that I can get my bolt through. But it looks like it's gonna work out without having to take the bumper out, which is what we wanted. All right, guys, in case you're wondering, these screws are M5s, and I would say these are like 1.25 inches, I think, long. And I got some other ones that are longer, but I wasn't sure if things were gonna hit. So yeah, I just kind of risked having to go back to the store, but looks like it's gonna be fine, actually. All right, so here's the first one. Shit. This bit is so aggressive. It's nice because it's so sharp, but it also bites into things too good, and you almost risk fucking things up a little bit. All right. Might have to trim this piece a little bit so that it clears the bolts. So that's why I was checking that. Man, if I drop anything on this floor, it's gone. That's the only thing that sucks about having race decking right here. I mean, it's not gone, I can still get it, but it just turns something that should have been simple, like picking up a bolt that you dropped, into like a 5-10 minute ordeal because you're digging through it. So you just gotta be extra careful, I guess. All right, so this is how I tighten these. I hold the nut with some needle noses, and then I use a Phillips to tighten that up, which I don't have, so I'm gonna go get that. Got it. There we go. Lock washer on there, shit ain't going anywhere. Let's get this baby off. One down, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more to go. It's gonna be pretty fucking secure. I hope I don't ever have to take it off, but if I ever wrap the car, somebody's gonna have to deal with that. Hear the carbon fiber crunching. All right, guys, I won't bore you through the whole process of doing this. At least you saw how I did the first couple ones, so I will this will put me at the halfway mark here with this one. And it looks like I didn't make enough screws, so I think I'm one short. I might have to run to the store again for more. I don't know if I have enough for the side skirts. I have enough washers because I bought a whole box. It was cheaper that way, but I don't know if I'll have enough screws. Come on. All right, washers in. Lock washers in. It's got to finesse this. If you're good with your fingers, and you'll do all right. There we go. Tighten this bitch up. Come on. All right, she's through. Whew. This one's a tight fit, but it looks like the bolts are going through the little grooves on the plastics, so I'm able to tighten them without having to shorten them, which was a concern originally. Once again, after I put all these in, I'll take off the main screws, get the plastics in, and re-screw those in, but then I don't have to worry about this being out of place after that, because it'll be nice and tight. Oh, come on. Work with me. Stop being a fucking pain. There we go. All right. Officially halfway through all of these. All right, this is what we got right now. Look at the gap on there now. It's really, really tight up front. And that huge gap that was here earlier is gone. Everything's nice and tight. Very happy with it. So I'm gonna start putting the plastics back together underneath. All right, I wanna show you guys something. So I did have to trim these plastics a little bit, these corners, so that they fit in just right. And everything lines up now. But one thing I wanted to show you is all of these that I took off, there's not a single centimeter of movement. They all stay put because of these bolts here. So now I can put the rest of the plastics in. And if I ever needed to work on the car in the future, I'm not having to take the lip off to remove this plastic. So that's what I wanted. Long-term stuff here. It's only gonna help you in the end when you're doing oil changes and changing parts out. All right, guys, so far so good. All this is lining up just right. All right, there's one. Let's look at this here. This one's a little tricky because it seems off, but not by much. All right, guys, I want to show you this because I'm so freaking proud of it. Look how clean it looks underneath. All the nuts and bolts. Everything's nice and sturdy. That was a pain in the butt. There's the two bolts that clear that massive gap that was showing up at the front. Plastics are all in, just like they should be. And the lip is underneath the plastic, as you can see there. Look at that. I did have to notch that just a hair for that to fit. That one as well, right here on the side. So everything's back on the way it was originally. And the front looks great. Oh, full disclosure, I did break a clip, and that's the one that goes in here. This guy just seemed dry rotted. Started prying on it and it just snapped right off, so it is what it is.